pixels.cool.
Welcome to you. This is explainer number 6 in the series Beginning 3D Modelling with uModeler. It's time to Canyonero.
Can you name the truck with 4-wheel drive? Smells like a steak and seats 35. Canyonero, Canyonero.
In this explainer, I'll block out a simple car model based on the Canyonero using the uModeler tools we've already worked with and a couple more. You can then continue tweaking the model as much as you like. Before starting, take a look at a 3D Canyonero model like this one at sketchfab.com and notice how it's made up. Each wheel, including the spare, is a cylinder, and each axle is another cylinder. It will also be important to create these wheel arches. I'm going to think of the body as two boxes, one for the lower section and the other one directly on top of it for the cabin with the windows. Let's get started. I'll start with a new empty Unity scene. Go to File, New Scene, select Basic URP and click Create. Start by clicking this uModeler Settings cog icon. I'm going to select World Grid in the Snap section and set a snap size of 0.5 meters. To see what this has done, create a box in the usual way. This is going to be the lower section of the chassis. Notice how the dimensions are snapping to the nearest half meter. Looking at my reference images, the Canyonero is around 10 meters long, 5 meters wide, and the lower part of the chassis is about 1.5 meters in height. I'll name this object Chassis. Next, starting from one corner of the existing box, draw a second box directly on top of it. Make this cabin box about 7 meters long, 5 meters wide, and 1.5 meters in height. Remember, you can use the undo option if things go wrong at any time. Okay, the Canyonero isn't quite this boxy. Use the Edge tool to select and move edges to add a slant to the windshield and to the back of the cabin and to the front of the vehicle. Remember, we're just blocking out the car. We can go on and make precise adjustments later. Next, it's time to create the wheels. I'll create a new uModeler object, add a cylinder to the scene, set a radius of 1 meter and a height of 1 meter, as this is about right. Rotate the cylinder, hold down the Control key on your keyboard to snap to predefined angles. I'll move the wheel close to where it's going to end up to make sure my sizing is about right. We'll need 5 wheels in total, including the spare. Each wheel will be identical, so let's duplicate the object to create the others. Make sure it's selected and Edit, Duplicate. And again, and again. Be sure to name your objects in the hierarchy as you go along. When an object is duplicated, it's placed in the scene at exactly the same location. I'll move these wheels off of each other to prove this, and move them all out of the way of the car for the moment. Looking at my images, the wheel arches are oversized and chunky. There are lots of ways to create these. I'll use a tool you'll definitely find helpful in the future. I'll start by creating another uModeler object. I'm going to use a large cylinder to literally cut out the shape of the arches. I'll draw the cylinder and give it a larger radius than the wheels. I'll go for 1.5 meters. I'll also make it at least 6 meters tall so it's wider than the vehicle. We'll need one cylinder to cut away the rear wheel arches and another for the front, so duplicate this cylinder. Move one of the cylinders into place. Use your Shift key to ensure both the cylinder and the vehicle body are selected at once, and click the Boolean Subtract tool. The cylinder shape has been subtracted, i.e. cut away from the body, giving us a wheel arch. Repeat this process for the second cylinder, and again punch out the remaining wheel arch. Boolean tools are essential in 3D modelling and definitely worth some time practicing with. Next, I'll move the wheels into place. Of course, you can tweak their size as needed. Don't forget to also move the spare wheel into place and rotate it as required. Now it's time to start creating the windows. I'll use another uModeler tool for this. There are 3 windows on each side and each is similar in size. I'll start by changing the snap setting to 0.25 meters. This will give me more accurate control over the size of the windows as I draw them. Next, select the line tool. I'll use this tool to literally draw out the shape of a front window on the existing model. Next, select the push-pull tool. Hold down your left mouse button and literally push the window shape right in and out of the other side of the car. I'll go on to add my additional windows later. I can use this same push-pull tool to create a basic wing mirror. Draw the shape out as before, and this time pull the face out from the chassis to create the start of a very blocky mirror. I'll also use the same method to create a raised area for the front bumper, and the same for the rear bumper. As I'm going to go on to add a license plate to the vehicle, I'll also add a raised area to the front. Again, practice as much as you can with this tool. You can save changes to your current scene at any time by going to File, Save As. The Canyonero is definitely taking shape. This blocking out process is a popular workflow for creating low poly, stylized models and is often referred to as box modelling. Next, you might like to add new objects to the scene for the roof bars and for the headlamps. There's lots more tweaking to do to shape the body. For tips on the changes you might like to make, see the website. In the final explainer in this series, I'm going to add simple materials to the car to make it look nice and shiny, as well as adding a license plate. And finally, I'll export the vehicle to use in other software or just to show it off online.
Pixels.cool